Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to explore the building blocks of object-oriented programming by learning classes and objects. So, the goal of this video is to understand how to define classes, create objects, and see them as real-world entities. What is a class? A class is like a blueprint. It defines what something is and what it can do, but it is not a real thing yet. It's just a template. For example, in previous videos, we were talking about a company. We divided a company in three components: employee, customer, product. So today we are going to create a class. We're going to create a class called employee. Classes are made up of two things: attributes and behaviors. You have attributes. What are attributes? Attributes are just the data that this class will manage. The data can be the name of the employee, ID, and position. How can we implement it in code? It's attributes, the data, right? We have public, name, an ID, and a position. Okay, these are attributes. Attributes are variables, data. That's it. So our class called employee has attributes, and we say behaviors. Behaviors are the task that the class will be doing. What, for example, if we try to create a methods, call it methods here. Methods are just functions, tasks of the class. For example, we say void work. So all employee is gonna work. You can see out a class. So in C++, a class defines these attributes and behaviors. It's like saying every employee will have these features and these actions. Here we create a class called employee, and this class has attributes called name, ID, and position. Don't worry about public. Public is called access modifiers. In next videos we will talk about it. And then we have methods. Methods are task responsibility of the classes. And then you write. So let's objects. What is an object? Say we have employee. Now you hire someone and fill in the form name with complete object. What is an object? So once your class is ready, you can start creating objects. Objects are each object like a real person in your company created using the same form but filled out with different details. So an object is an instance of your class. Let's create an object. First, we write the name of our class, employee 1. This is the instance. Let's say in your company, you hire an employee, and then is Sydney, and this employee that ID is 2025. This employee that position is what? Software engineer. Work. Okay, we can see here Sydney is a software engineer. We create an instance of the class of one employee that we hire called Sydney, who is a software engineer. Now we would like to talk about access specifiers. So in C++, we protect parts of the class using access specifiers. The most common are public, private, and protected. Here you can see we have public access modifiers. It says that these attributes will be public and everyone can access it, can have access. So here you can see all employees can see what is the name, the of the employee, ID, position. So everything is made accessible to everyone. Then let's explain what about private. Think of private as your personal safe. Only you can access it. Public is like your LinkedIn profile. Anyone can view it. Then you have private, public. Protected is used especially inheritance. It means the data will be accessible to a specific number of people. That's what it modifies. There's a next thing I would like us to talk about. Very important. It's called constructor. So it helps initialize your object with the right starting value. Here we said to help me to initialize the value. So if you want to create, so think of a constructor as a human. Well, let's create a constructor. A constructor first has the same name with the class. We call it employee. So to run our code, yeah, you can see before having what the output, firstly the constructor is initialized, so it helps initialize your object with the right starting values. So the next thing to talk about is the destructor. Destructor name or code. So destructor help us to manage our memory. It means at the end of running our classes, the will delete this data in our from our memory. So you have here, we call it this. You can see the constructor is initialized first, then we have our object was working, then after the job, the work being done, the destructor is initialized to delete all the data from our memory to allow us to work efficiently after running the program. That was the goal of this video. So let's recap. In object-oriented programming, we have classes, class and object. A class is a template or a blueprint. Within a class, we talk about attributes. Attributes are the data, the variables. So the data the class will manage. So attributes, these are the attributes. And we talk about the construct behaviors as just the task, the actions of the class. Then talk about constructor. Constructor set up a new object. So anytime I will create an object, you will see that we need to create it. Great job. Now you know how to design your own types using classes. In the next lesson, we will see how to protect data and enforce good rules using encapsulation. Thank you very much.